Round 2 kicks off, and the arena instantly becomes a total bloodbath. Most kids freak out, but RMC just leans back, chillin', like he's grading a dead body. Then things get wild. Final showdown. Everyone bets the Beast Wong will turn Yunil into confetti. Wong unleashes a tornado of blades, but Yunil keeps slipping away. Read Wong's moves like a book just by checking the bodies he left behind. Yunil taunts him, baiting a reckless charge aimed straight at his vitals. Spotting the gap, Yunil ducks and jams his short blade right into that fatal neck spot his Gramps showed him. Speaking of Gramps, rewind to him finding a baby MC in the snow and naming him Yunil. That sweet old guy took him in and basically became his dad. Turns out, Gramps was an undertaker, and he taught Yunil the family biz. He taught the kid every gruesome detail, and Yunil totally geeked out on it. Even Gramps was impressed, calling the kid a total prodigy. Life was good until one seriously messed up day. Bedtime hit, but Gramps sensed bad vibes and woke Yunil up fast. He suggested their usual play-dead game, hide and seek, essentially. Gramps promised to buy him that cool outfit and sword if he stayed hidden until the sun came up. Stoked about the loot, Yunil agreed instantly. He hopped into his closet hideout, promising to stay put till morning. Once the door clicked shut, the old man drew his blade and stepped out to face the creeps in the dark. Turns out, they knew each other. The baddie called him Buzhang, the legendary 7-branch demonic blade. He trashed Jian Yang for ditching his high rank in the demonic palace to live like a bum in the forest. The guy attacked, but Jian Yang blocked it easily, saying he became an undertaker to atone for his sins. Not to rot, Jian Yang said he was ready to die, suggested moving the fight so they wouldn't wreck the house. The guy agreed, but warned him not to try anything funny. A bit later, Yunil couldn't handle the closet anymore and had to bail. Even with the prizes on the line, the cold was just too brutal. He looked around, and Panic Gramps was gone, which never happens. He stepped outside and saw the ground all torn up. That's when he knew something was seriously wrong. He bolted into the woods and found his grandpa barely breathing. Jian Yang was slumped against a tree, missing both his arms and his eye. Yunil rushed over, his mind racing with a million questions. Crying, he asked what happened, but the old man just whispered sorry. Gramps tells Yunil he's about to log off permanently, but begs him to quit the whole Undertaker gig. He says skip the revenge, but Yunil yells, no way, I can't forgive them. Yunil tells Gramps the only way he stops is if he dies right there too. Just as his HP hits 0, Jian Yang drops one last request on Yunil. Run far away, he gasps, then faceplants game over. He whispers that he loved every second they chilled together. Yunil watches in horror as Gramps ghosts him, blood pooling everywhere. Once he drags the body home, Yunil is raging total revenge mode engaged. He tells the corpse, sorry, not listening to you this time. Checking the body, he uses the skills Gramps taught him to see both arms were lopped off at once. He could even pinpoint the exact timing of the killer move that took Gramps down. From the missing arms to the eyes, Yunil visualized the whole fight. He realizes only one crew hits that hard. The demonic faction. Yunil also figures out the killer used a weird Tianu yoga style. Checking the back, he spots signs of a hidden multi-shot weapon. Plus, he sees purple under the tongue and nails classic poison signs. Connecting the dots, Yunil knows the culprit is a demonic user with Tianyu moves and toxic gear. Since that's a rare build, Yunil swears to hunt the guy down. Wasting no time on his revenge arc, he's soon signing up for something big. An instructor barks at him to hurry up and stamp the form. But Yunil shocks the guy by biting his thumb and stamping it in his own blood. Since Gramps died, he's 100% focused on payback. That's exactly why he's entering this tournament. It's step 1 of the plan. In this world, the Murium is split between Orthodox and unorthodox sects. The Orthodox fam is led by the Alliance, claiming to be justice warriors. Meanwhile, the unorthodox guys, back to Demon Palace, worshipping power. Even though they balanced each other out, the Orthodox side decided to flex. So, they created the 80 Martial Masters, the so-called good guys squad. Feeling threatened, the Demon Palace started leveling up so they cook up a wild plan to crown the 10 Demon Masters. This sketchy sect wants 10 young prodigies to learn their dark arts. To spice things up, they literally don't care about your backstory or whatever you were doing before signing up. Thanks to that loophole, dudes swarmed to Demon Palace, including our boy standing in that massive mosh pit of sweaty tryhards. Yunil senses some majorly bad vibes. He clocks that one of these creeps is linked to his grandpa's killer. Since his target is totally up, Yunil knows he's got to hit Martial Master level 2 even stand a chance. That's why he's dead set on the top 10. He needs those gains for revenge. Just then, massive, scary dude steps up. Meathead instructor. Hi, Rick. The guys are totally shook when Hai drops his name. Turns out, the guy's basically a celeb here. Hai tells them they're hunting for the absolute goats of the demon sex. Only those surviving their crazy trials get a shot at the top 10 spots. First up, a vibe check on their muscles by the staff. As soon as the guys hear that, they start whining. They wanted a brawl, not a checkup. The martial masters ignore the salt and start judging both. The gym brothers, naturally, are hyped to get an easy pass to round 2. Instructor Jingok strolls up to check out one touch and he thinks, this kid's toast. Why is he even here? But then he senses some crazy killer vibes. Still, Jing realizes it'd be a total disaster to let Yunil pass. So, he fails him. Yunil isn't even shocked. He knew he'd failed the bod check. Since he has zero muscle, he's spent his life hauling dead bodies. But Yunil knows the show ain't over yet. Then the instructor announces the first round is done, and some dude flips out, calling it rigged. He asks why. Tournament, if they only care about swole muscles? Hai claps back, telling the kid he's clueless. Hai says martial arts is all about that bone structure. Baby. He roasts the guy for failing the basics, even with open admissions. The kid argues they deserve a fair shot. Hai says, chill, don't sweat it. Round 2 is coming for the scrappy underdogs who can still fight. Hai gets straight to business, announcing that round 2 is officially a go. Plot twist. It's a battle royale. Last dude breathing wins. Most of the guys are totally shook by the rules. But that hyper kid from before wastes zero time locking in. Since murder's on the menu, he's already He instantly snatches a spear and yeets it at Yunil, trying to delete him. The weapon flies straight for spot, but psych, turns out he wasn't the victim. It skewers his rival in red standing right next to him. Red shirt screams, drops, and hacks up blood. Game over. The splatter hits Yunil right in the face, while he stares at the guy swimming in his own mess. He's stunned, looking at a dude who just got speared. One look, and Yunil analyzes the kill cam. He sees it hit the heart, but missed the ribs. Wong's accuracy stats are cracked. Wong starts flexing because he got first blood. Hyuk thinks Wong has fast reflexes but zero brain cells. He is totally let down, thinks these guys are total NPC. Jing agrees. Flexing just puts a giant bounty on your head. Still, he bets this will make the other players sweat and realize this is hardcore mode. Suddenly, the arena turns into a total dumpster fire. Noobs panic. But Hai and Jingak spot a guy chilling. He is posted up against the wall, completely unbothered by the drama. He also spots Yunil vibing through the mess, making him take back the everyone here sucks comment. Yunil stays frosty. He thinks they're clowns for panicking. The quest was just to stay alive. Till the end, survival over kill streaks. People, Yunil knows big brain plays and staying cold win games. He crouches to inspect the bodies on the floor. While he's busy, some dude with a ranged weapon clocks Yunil for just Meanwhile, Yunil is stuck assessing damage to figure out the attack patterns. The watcher gets salty and chucks his weapon at him. It whiffs his head but smashes the box on his back. Guy roasts him, asking why a monk needs a mystery box. Big mistake. That was Grandpa's gift. Now he's triggered. Inside sits a short sword, but the attacker thinks Yunil is just a bot. Guy starts roasting Yunil, mocking his toothpick of a blade. Big mistake. While he's yapping, Mr. Cool warps behind him, and Slick Guy smirks at Yunil, basically saying, you're welcome. Claims he doesn't need thanks, since Yunil made great bait. Yunil totally ignores the flex, focusing on his own grind. Dude spots zero kung fu vibes and thinks, free kill. While he's staring down our boy, some Rondo attacks from behind. But nope, Guy drops him like he has eyes in his back. Hi, asks Shuck. Yo, isn't that the legendary extermination sword? He's dying to know why this guy is rocking the Black Soul Legacy gear, owned by the strongest wanderer ever. Jingok spills the tea. It's Nung Wang. Rumor has it, he found the secret manual along with that wicked blade. Wang grinded that manual, becoming Black Soul's only student. Jing admits Wang looks scrawny, but he's definitely the top pick to win. Nobody else looks tough enough to step up. Still, Jingok thinks a wild card might flip the script. Dust settles. Only Wang and Yuniel are left standing. Wang is shook that the newbie actually survived the mosh pit. Wang starts bragging again, saying he'll become a Tin Demon Master candidate. If he kills Yuniel, he's thirsty for it. Facing the lobby's final boss, Yuniel keeps his cool. Not even a flinch. Just that signature icy stare. Why? Because he already spotted the guy's fatal glitch. Yunil grips his short sword, confident he can bag this win. Wang decides to troll a bit, launching a casual attack. He unleashes a flurry of slashes all at once. Shockingly, Yuniel weaves through it all without getting wrecked. Hai and Jack are watching from the bleachers, totally stunned. It looks like Yuniel's getting owned, but they notice He's twisting just enough to turn fatal hits into scratches. Jingkook realizes Yunil studied the corpses to learn Wang's moves. He is absolutely floored by that level of ... galaxy brain observation skills from the kid. Yunil taunts Wang, your skills are trash, barely a scratch. Tunil is trying to tilt his opponent, but can he actually land the critical hit needed to win? The taunt works. Wang loses it completely. Furious, he rushes in to end Yunil's subscription to life. As Wang charges, Yunil knows he only has one shot. He knows exactly what to do, thanks to those dead bodies. Wang's finishers always auto-aim for the heart or head. Since he knows the pattern, ... Yunil has a nasty trap ready to spring. Sword incoming, Yunil ducks. Wang misses and leaves himself wide open. Back in the day, his gramps had spilled the tea on a secret neck spot that wrecks almost any fighter. Even a kid could clap a pro if they jab that acupoint with enough force. Precision is key. That's exactly the spot Yunil is aiming for. Wang totally slips up, leaving his neck wide open for the poke. Zero reaction time. Wang skewered, leaking red stuff everywhere. Finally, Wu's carcass face. Yunil is the last dude standing. Jing and Hyuk are This was the wild card they didn't see coming. Hyuk is salty that Wu got smoked. Yunil, he thought Mr. Black Soul Sword Arts was gonna slay, not flop. Still, Hyuk got a name. Yunil, the winner of round 2. Suddenly, Yunil's in a void, spotting Gramps way off. He yeets himself over to the old man, but gets creeped out. Gramps turns around, no eyes. Gramps freaks, screaming, he's blind. Reality check hits Yunil hard. Snap. Yunil wakes up. He's on a boat. Mustav passed out from losing too much juice. Oh wait, something's weird. He should be dead or hurting bad, but feels zero pain. Like, what? Guess some elite demonic palace doc fixed him up. Good. He spots other guys on deck who look hella buff. Must be the OGs who survived round 1. Suddenly, the hatch pops. Open Jingkook's there, yelling to get off, cause they've hit the next level. Hell Island. Spooky. Jingkook barks at them to follow him to some caves. Their new cribs. He orders them to swap their gear for standard issue, clothes and swords. Then bounce out. Looks like they're allowed to snag whatever cave vibes with them. Yunil instantly spots the prime real estate. Meanwhile, 2 guys are beefing over the same spot. Some rando steps in, telling them to chill. There's plenty of sweet caves for everyone. Yunil's laughing internally. These are clueless about round 2 and totally chilling. Big mistake. He notices most are dripping in fancy threads. Probably rich kids from big shot clans. He realizes the last trial was just to purge the while he's busy scoping the scene. Jingkook creeps up. Why so slow? Pick a cave already. Turns out. Jingkook's been locust stalking Yunil to see his choice. Pick one. Fast. The proctor yells. So Yunil points to a tiny, cramped cave. It's oozing mud like a gross sore. And some jerk laughs. A trash hole for a trash rookie. But Jingkook's jaw drops. He thinks, whoa, this kid's actually a genius. See, the entrance looks super tight, but it's a total illusion. Massive training space on the inside. Plus, that squeeze acts like a firewall against creepers. Nobody wants to army crawl through mud, so it's instant privacy. Jing smirks, realizing Yunil totally figured out the meta. Soon, the newbies pop out in ninja black to hear the boss's speech. Jing drops the lore. Hell Island hosts 10 dojos, each teaching a different flavor of demonic arts. It's sandbox mode. Master them all, or just grind XP on one specific skill tree. And zero curfew. Sleep, game, train, do, whatever. Yunil's after the last trial was a literal nightmare. He smells a trap. No way they're letting them chill like this. The other kids immediately start arguing over the best build. Most are hyping the fire, rain sword, claiming that sect is the OP choice right now. Yunil watches the herd stampede toward the strongest building. Sure, fire rain sounds sick, but it's useless for a level 1 scrub like him with zero skills. He needs a kit that won't get him killed immediately. So he strolls over to this dumpster fire called the Wandering Beast Pavilion. The place fell off hard, barely ranks in the top 10 anymore. Only reason they haven't been deleted is cause they cranked out some legends back in the day. Yunil suddenly recalls his gramps spilling tea about this specific sect ages ago. Suddenly, dirt moves and a dude's head pops up like a whack-a-mole. Mole Man asks, "You here to become a demon master, kid?" Turns out, Dirtface is actually the pavilion master. Yunil composes himself and tells the guy, "Yeah, I'm here to learn your beast arts." Sawu scans him, sees noodle arms and zero muscle. "Get lost. He's not wasting time on you. You're made of glass. Kid, my training would literally delete you." Yunil doesn't budge. He argues that he heard this style is the ultimate cheat code for survival. Sawu blinks. "How do you know that? We're practically extinct." Still, the master gives him a warning. "Look, our arts are on nightmare difficulty. Even the suckle geniuses rage quit. Here, step 1 is mutating your body. Sawu grins. And with D... From his POV, this kid is gonna be toast in 24 hours if he tries this. He tells Uniel to beat it, but the dude suddenly pulls a total pro gamer move by bowing and thanking him for the lessons. That's all Sawu needs to know. He's dealing with a complete psycho, which basically leaves him no choice but to say yes to being the boss. But Sawu keeps it real. I'm only helping cause the Demon Palace said so. He finally crawls out of his hole and goes, "Call me Master S." Uniel starts his intro, but Essa just shuts him down. "Zip it, you're just training number 1. No time to waste. Let's roll," he says, throwing up a weird hand sign. Bam, Uniel gets smacked with a massive energy wave. The next thing he knows, lights out, he's blind. Before he can freak out, says like, "Chill, I just turned off your eyes with a secret trick." The master claims it's key for the wandering beast path, basic stuff for their crew. Uniel's head is spinning from the info dump, so SA breaks it down. This path is supposed to supercharge his senses and give him crazy animal reflexes. Say notes their style is unique because it changes based on who's using it. That's why the wandering beast technique is basic but actually brutal. Barely anyone masters it. But Sa promises that if he can actually nail it, he'll unlock those wild beast instincts. Then he grins. Most people drop dead before they get there. Though, back in an hour, he says, try to get used to the dark. Once SA bounces, Uniel realizes he messed up his math. He assumed his hearing would spike instantly like in movies, but nope. He recalls the master saying it takes an hour to return. In his situation, that's practically forever. He realizes he needs to adapt ASAP because he's in a contest. If someone jumps him now, game over. Uniel immediately pictures himself getting ganked, and the adrenaline rush forces him to leap around blindly. But he wipes out and figures that without eyes, he needs to focus on his balance first. An hour later, SA comes back, expecting the kid to be shaking in his boots. Instead, the dude is hopping around like a ninja, totally unexpected. So realizes the kid is fighting imaginary bad guys, which explains how he adapted to the blindness so fast. Still, Say acts cool and decides to run a little vibe check. He swings his blade. Dodge this if you can. The grind continues, and 3 days later, Uniel is bruised and battered. Sa's shocked the kid hasn't complained once about the brutal methods. Finally, he asks, "Why aren't you whining about my teaching?" Uniel just grins. "You said you had." He spilled the tea on the Night Pavilion's secret sauce, saying it is all about big brain enlightenment and finding a reason behind the chaos. Sawu totally vibed with Uniel's answer, gave him props for nailing it. Then he was like, "Cool, let's keep grinding." So it lunged at Uniel, but this time was different. Uniel's spidey senses went off, tracking Saw's every move. He saw it coming, but couldn't bail, so he had to tank the hit. At the very last microsecond, the strike, Uniel yanked his sword up and actually blocked it. Sawu was shook. The kid pulled that off after just 3 days. Wild. But even with that epic block, it wasn't enough, and he still landed flat on his butt. Sawu chucked a bamboo flask at him. "Chug this, kid." Uniel downed it, expecting H2O, but nope, definitely not water. Boom. Instant energy rush, like a supercharged protein shake on steroids. Turns out it was that fancy spring. Spirit juice. Sawu had been hoarding forever. Sawu didn't mind burning his stash though. He knew he finally found the total genius he'd been praying for. Fully recharged, the training session kicked off again, and they went full hardcore mode. After clashing for a bit, Sawu suddenly froze and just burst out, laughing like a maniac. He finally found the one. Suddenly, Uniel's vision cleared up. Then, getting super real, Sawu said, "Ditch the 10 Masters dream. Be my legit disciple." Sawu promised he would make him a top 10 beast in the demonic world in just 10 years. Uniel heard that and was seriously tempted. He knew the old man wasn't bluffing. But then he remembered his grandpa's killer was insanely strong. So, sticking to just one style, yeah, that wasn't going to cut it. He politely shut down the offer, telling Sawu he's still gunning for that Demon Master title. Sawu was like, "Dude, forget learning all 10 demonic styles. Even the Grand Heavenly Emperor couldn't pull that off, and he's a legend." Sawu kept going. Arts have to match your body type and energy vibes. He added that even geniuses max out at 2 or 3 styles. That's why grinding on just one path is the cheat code to becoming the strongest demon. Despite the lecture, Uniel didn't budge. Sawu had to chill. Totally bummed out, he told Uniel he'd teach him a different style then. Uniel was confused since he barely knew the basics of the Wandering Beast sect. Sawu explained, "We don't do textbooks or steps here." Sawu finally spills the tea. He was actually drilling Uniel in the sect's savage beast path. Then it hits Uniel, like a truck, that every single attack Sawu threw was just a secret lesson in disguise. Sneaky. Totally moved, Uniel bows low. gushing, "Thanks for the harsh love tutoring." Sawu waves him off, acting all, "Stop it, you're embarrassing me," claiming he only did it cause the Demon Palace boss ordered it. "Sure, Jan." Yunil's like, "No way, you even gave me potions," but Sawu just shrugs it off coolly. He warns that in this dog-eat-dog world, catching feels or holding grudges is a rookie mistake in the Final goodbyes done, Yunil drops a respectful kutado before bouncing. Sawu stares after him, jaw practically on the floor with mad respect. As the kid walks away, thinking, where did they find this absolute monster? Trek in the woods, Yunil realizes his radar's on overdrive. He hears everything. Must be a side effect of that intense beast path training, but is draining his battery fast. He needs to figure out a way to hit the off switch on this sensory overload, or he'll never sleep again. He focuses hard, trying to dial down the super senses to a dull roar. It works. The world goes quiet, way different from his usual HD mode. Chill, restored, Yunil pulls out his map to pick the next grind spot. Oops, time crunch. He remembers this training event has a strict deadline. He decides to hit up the sect, founded by the guy who rivaled the Emperor 700 years back. Speaking of the devil, that legend started the Fire Rain Sword sect. Since he's short on time, aiming for the strongest of the 10 sects is the only play. Pulling up to the HQ, notes it looks way fancier than the Beast Pavilion's dusty halls. He knocks, leaving the guy inside, confused about the visitor. Instructor Jing opens up and nearly trips seeing Yunil standing there. Yunil bows politely, announcing he's here to pick up some Fire Rain sword skills. Yunil's also surprised to see a real master answering the door. Jing waves him in, dropping the bad news that other kids, who started early, already smoked the beginner level and moved up. Looks like the training is split into 3 tiers. Easy, medium, and nightmare. Jing asks why he's showing up to the party 2 weeks late, and Yunil admits he was busy grinding at the Beast Pavilion. The instructor then asks if he actually learned anything. Yunil's casual yup leaves him stunned. No way this kid mastered the beast path in just 2 weeks, right? He knows Yunil's a genius, but figures Sawu probably just kicked him out for being annoying. At the gym, Jing drops the nice guy act and introduces himself as the boss of the beginner trials. He asks Yunil if he's actually serious about learning the Fire Rain style. Bro, find another gym. Swords just aren't your thing. Yunil's like, thanks fam, but I'm all about that Fire Rain life. Since he's serious, Jingok stomps and boom, a manual spawns on the floor. Here's a Fire Rain 13 starter pack. Read up, go grind some XP solo. Don't be lazy. But Yunil is confused because he's just looking at random scribbles. He has zero clue what to do. Jingok is shook. Wait, can you even read a manual? Then Yunil drops a truth bomb that's even wilder. Actually, no, never touched a sword before this contest. Jingok freezes. Brain.exe has stopped working. He has to ask again, and Yunil doubles down. Zero experience? Teach, I'm a total noob. Instead of raging, Jingok gets hyped. Because, with raw talent like that, proper training makes him a beast. Jingok asks, okay, but can you read the words? Even if the pics are weird, Yunil nods. Yeah. He reads the instructions, just basic prep stuff. He tries to do it, but he looks ridiculous. Jingok is dying inside. How's he gonna teach a bot to be one of the 10 masters? Jingich walks. Oven fixes him. Chill bro, relax your core. He breaks it down quick. Yunil snaps into posture. Jingok is impressed it is fast. Now that he's fixed, Jingok tells Yunil, okay, Fire Rain, 13 time, let's go. He tosses a sword and demos the precision moves. Classic, Yunil he copies. Every single move perfectly, no lag at all. Jingok watches, realizing the kid is actually cracked. After some training, Jingok says, picture an op and use the Fire Rain 30. Yunil's confused. Fight an imaginary friend. Jingok explains it's the level up test for the next hall. Gotta see that sword intent in your basics. Yunil hears that and knows. It's showtime. He has to flex his skills right now. The enemy he imagines? Obviously, it's the dude who sent his grandpa to the afterlife. He draws his blade and goes full fury on Form 1. Jingok is stunned by how sick Yunil's moves are. Yunil keeps flowing through the 30 forms, but Jingok spots a glitchy's remixing the style. Usually this blade style is chill, but Yunil is making it super edgy. Jing can't even process the madness right in front of him. Remixing basics. That is straight up Grandmaster tier stuff. Jing also clocks that the moves are dripping with killer vibes, like he is fighting his mortal enemy. He refuses to believe the classic Fire Rain style is being hacked apart like it's nothing special. Makes him realize this kid definitely had a wild upbringing. In a blink, he sees the Fire Rain 13 forms getting warped. He wonders if the beast path is causing this glitch. Mixing styles is cool, but he realizes it totally morphed the swordplay into something that isn't Fire Rain anymore. Realizing that, he snaps. back to the OG 13 forms. And whoa, he looks way deadlier now. He visualizes a foe and just unloads all that pent-up rage. Jing watches, totally shook, and he has to admit Unili is unbelievably fast. Closing in, Unil zones out. The enemy feels real, and he knows he can't let them bail. Because of that, he decides to dump his whole move set in one go. He unleashes the fury, throwing dangerous slashes to secure the win. But he goes too hard, trips over his own feet, and drops the sword. Jing watches him wipe out against the ghosts. But instead of raging, he is actually digging the intensity. Unil is floored when Jing says, "Congrats, you passed." Jing explains the test was about combat vibes and flow, not just looking pretty. He helps the kid grab his blade and confirms he hit all the passing marks. Jing hypes the technique and tells him to level up to the intermediate room. Unil is super thankful for the help he knows teaching a total noob like him must have been. A massive headache and super stressful. He bows low to Jing, dropping a big thanks for everything. Jing tells him to keep grinding. He could feel that intense murder-y vibe coming off the blade. Final tip, don't let that bloodlust turn you into a psycho. Saying by Jing finally gets that. Unil speedrun the beast path in 2 weeks because he is a genius. That is why he is advancing way faster than Jing ever predicted. Jing thought the kid was gonna flop, but after this session, he knows the boy is going places. Plus, Jing is pretty sure the next teacher, Qian Wugan, is gonna be totally obsessed with Unil. Once they hang out, Unil walks into the next room, and the instructor doesn't. Not exactly a warm welcome. He told Unil to beat it cause they're full. Chin's throw in major shade, because he is totally unimpressed by the fact that Unil took forever just to scrape past the beginner level. Kuyang claims Wenel is toast here with that kind of weak sauce talent. Defending himself, Wenel tells the instructor that he actually showed up late cause he was grinding at the Wandering Beast Pavilion. Hearing that, Xian rolls his eyes, figuring Unil must have just fled the beast zone because the training there was way too hard. But since Unil passed the basics, Kion has absolutely no choice but to let him grab a seat with the rest of the class. Kion gets back to it, explaining that the fire, rain, thundering sword style relies on speed, and if they are clumsy with the blade, they'll just end up hurting themselves. Kion adds that it's tough to use in a real scrap, like the fire, rain 13 forms. Still, they gotta learn it to level up their sword skills, not just to snag a win. Kion then calls up a student named Biohunt. For the demo, Kion tells him to pick a sparring partner. Biak smirks, asking if anyone is fair game, and Kion nods, yes. Totally predictable, Biak points straight at Unil, choosing him as the victim. Kuyan tries to argue, but Biak reminds him. He said, anyone. Kion pushes back. How is fighting a total newbie? A real test. Kion tells Bei to swap targets, but Unil cuts in, saying he's cool with it. Chen's floored, but Unil says he learned swordplay from Jing. Unil figures he learns faster by actually clashing with people. Kine thinks it's just ego talk, but decides not to stop him. Chayan says, go for it, hoping they make the advanced class. Bei, meanwhile, thinks he's the luckiest. Gaia Live gets a rookie to wreck however he wants. He even plans to end Unil to flex his skills to the class. Both guys grab wooden swords, getting ready to throw down. Bio praises Unil's guts, but says guts alone won't save him here. Biak rushes Unil instantly, but the rookie dodges his. Biak surprised, but doubts Unil can keep that up. He pushes harder, forcing his opponent to block instead of dodge. With how their blades are, class in Biak sees the kid's a total noob, which is great. Bei toys with him, even using the thundering sword move. But Unil stays chill, sidestepping everything thrown his way. By now, frustration is starting kick in, and Unil can totally see it. He realizes Bio's sword game is weak, but Unil's dodging like he's reading the dude's mind. This starts making Chayan think Unil actually nailed the wild beast path. As a pro, he knows that move is brutal to master, even if people call it basic. Since usually only the big bosses learn it, he can't really buy that Unil got it down in just 2 weeks. Chayan decides to spice it up, telling Unil, this ain't just about dodging, he wants to see legit sword skills and check those reflexes. Hearing that, Unil decides to get real with Bio, unleashing the fire rain 13 forms. But Bio isn't sweating it, cause the technique looks kinda off, compared to the usual forms. He's cocky enough to think he can totally ghost that slash with 0 effort. But oops, he was wrong. That blade comes in hot, and suddenly he's panicking. A bunch of questions start racing through Bio's brain. Is Unil trolling him with a weird version just to flex? He also wonders if Unil is doing this to impress the teacher and skip straight to the advanced class. Realizing he's about to get totally clowned, Bio switches to the Asura sword style. He throws the blood-shattering strike to end Unil instantly. Turns out, that's a killer move from the Asura crew. Since Chaeon didn't ban specific styles, he can't pause the match. Suddenly Chaeyon spots that even though Yunil's facing a lethal style, dude's staying perfectly balanced. He thinks, did this kid actually master the wild beast path? Even if he doesn't want to believe it. Yunil keeps dodging, pushing Bio to use the deadly bloody wind-warping moon. Even Chaeyon is shook, watching in horror as Bio launches into the air at Yunil. It all blurs, and by the time it gets clear, Yunil's sword is driving into Bio's chest with the Fire Rain 13th form. Yunil looks totally chill as he pulls his sword back, and Bio hacks up blood before face-planting, looking straight up dead. Everyone's jaws hit the floor. They process that Bio might actually be toast. Yunil walks off to return the gear, while Chaeyon checks Bio. Yep, fatal hit. Chaeyon turns to Yunil, asking if he's always been with the Wandering Night Pavilion. Nope. So Chaeyon has to ask if he really mastered the wild beast path in just 2 weeks. Yunil's like, I only learned the basics. Chaeyon gives a grossed out smile, hearing that, cause what he just saw was definitely not basic. He teases Yunil, asking if he also learned how to be that smart. Yunil tries to explain, but Chaeyon cuts him off. Just clean up your mess. The squad's salty to Yunil. Flatlined a dude during practice. They figure he's getting clapped, but Chaeyon shuts that down. He says, yeah, it's a haul, but don't get cozy. It's Hell Island. If you come with lethal moves, expect to get served right back. Chaeyon hits restart, and the brawl kicks off again. Anyone who gets the boot. Chaeyon says, it's game over. Tells them to go find some other dojo cause they're officially cancelled here. They beg for a redo, but Cheon's like, he admits they may be aced round 1 just cause they're buff. But Fire Rain needs sick talent to level up. No potential. You're totally out. Once the crowd finally cleared out, Cheon spots Yunil loitering and goes, sup, Yunil's lost. Do I bail? Cheon nods. Says he leveled up to the big leagues, but Yunil's like, nah, I'll stay here. Cheon's totally confused. Why though? Yunil claims he only knows the Fire Rain 13 moves and learned zilch here. Cheon's shook. He used Beast Path to dodge Bio but still claims he's a new. Yunil just doubles down on being clueless. Seeing he's stubborn, Cheon has to teach him Thundering Sword, the big upgrade. But he warns him. He hates show-offs pulling stunts. Says he'll chop his head off. He knows moves beside the 13 forms. 4 days later, they're grinding hard. Cheon checked all his moves and confirmed he's basic. Even though he's new, his focus is actually insane. Cheon sees the grit, like it's do or die for him. Cheon gets how he learned Beast Path fast. Yunil's already swinging the Thundering Sword like a pro. Fast learner. He's going ham when Cheon yells, stop, saying he mastered the basics. Yunil, he's totally skeptical. So Cheon breaks down the Fire Rain. Thundering Sword basically twisting your body fast to combo hits. But Cheon points out these fancy moves aren't something you can actually spam in a real fight. Yet he sees Yunil swinging like he's trying to delete people for real. Yunil's confused since he figured, learn sword skills specifically to use them for fighting. Cheon admits, dark arts need rage, but high-tier Fire Rain needs zero chill. So he tells Yunil to ditch the murder vibes, or he'll invent a style that wrecks him. Then it finally clicks. For Yunil that Cheon is basically copy-pasting what Yang said. Cheon admits he used to rage quit on enemies too, killing everyone, but that just made him lose his rep, and his skills totally fell off a cliff. He adds that lethal moves look like a shortcut to power, but they're actually a massive wall blocking you. Going for dad mode, Cheon tells Yunil he needs to let the hate go. Hearing that, Yunil flashes back to his grandpa's wisdom. Gramps once said that people who use swords have tragic backstories, which is why Murim folks stay quiet. Yunil then asks, why? Tell me this. And Cheon explains he's doing it. So the kid knows he's been down that dark road too. Then Cheon asks for his name. Once he hears it, he realizes this is the survivor Jinkak mentioned. Cheon immediately tells Yunil, Houston, we have a problem. When asked why, Cheon points out his basics are absolute trash. He explains the competition has been training since diapers. Cheon says the skill gap is only gonna get worse if he tries advanced Fire Rain stuff now. Cheon says he needs to speedrun the fundamentals first. That way, he has a solid base for the cool sword moves. Because of that, Cheon decides to teach him the unrivaled lightning and thunder style he invented. But first, a warning. Cheon fried all the nerves in his fingers failing to master this beast. It's risky mess up, and Yunil might lose control of his arms. If that happens, he won't advance, he'll just end up totally useless. Warning delivered. Cheon asks, you still game? Yunil doesn't blink. He doesn't give a crap about his arms. He'd trade his soul just for sweet revenge. 1 month later, Yunil nailed the mastered the thunderclap stuff to bail on the mid-tier room. Kind called him a speed demon, but Yunil still felt like a total snail. Skills acquired. Check. Time for the big leagues. He kicks open the advanced door, and BAM. All eyes on him. These guys are intense, probably because they know his rep. Uni hates how Barian, folks is lame, but icing them is cool. Weird flex. Teacher tells him to park it. Pronto. Class is in session. Since there's a fresh face, Teat says he'll break down the Rainsword lore and the 7 rules. First up, balance your juice everywhere so you don't wobble like a noob. Scanning his notes, Uniel realized he'd be clueless. Without those mid-tier moves, he just lecture over. Teach tells Uniel to tag along. They head to the back garden. Teach goes. Sometimes, you gotta beat a guy unarmed. Basically, you become the sword. He grabs a twig, points it at Uniel, and quizzes him. You're jumped. No weapon. What's the move? Teach adds that what he was grinding earlier, the squad mastered shining. Mystique Fire Rain, Form 1. Hence, the theory talk. He warns Uniel he's 0 shot at passing. If he flops this quiz, it's door die, so he better think fast. Uniel sighs and says, no sword, I'll just steal yours. He lunges for the twig instantly, but before he grabs a leaf, Teach teleports behind him. Too desperate, Teach but Uniel ignores the lecture, wondering how the heck he got there. He attacks again, same result. Nope, Uniel's getting ticked off, he can't track him. He didn't expect to just nab him, but seriously, he can't even see him move. Now he's sweating because he has no shot here. If he doesn't wow the teacher now, time to unleash full wild beast mode. 1 shot, locked in. He dives for the stick, but Teach blasts him back. Uniel eats dirt, looking totally bummed out. Before the pity party starts, Teach rushes in for a backslap. The old guy cracks up then says, congrats, you passed. Uniel shook. He missed the old man completely. So how'd he pass? The master ignores the huh and says Mystique, training starts tomorrow. Get here early. Beat the others. Uniel's stoked. Thanks the dude and bounces. As he dips the teacher, eyes his stick. Leaves fall like confetti. Kid actually connected, but the sneaky Teach yeeted him so he'd think he failed. Teach is low-key hype, expecting big things from the kid. Later, Uniel's hiking, charging his energy. Instead of chilling, cause drama pops off fast, suddenly, he feels people creeping behind him. Wild senses tingling. He counts the stalkers. 5 brothers pop up, looking super salty. Say he's been flexing too hard? Time for a lesson. They brag about being the 5 peak swords. Genius is here to delete him. Uniel ignores the yap, keeping his radar. On Max spots a 6th guy hiding in the dark. Right as they move, a scary dude drops the leader. He faceplants hard. From one tap, the others are terrified. They spin around. It's Saya Jinha, the class beast. Jinha ghosts, the extras, tells Uniel, we gotta talk. The goons try to step up. Yoa gives. Jinha's like, buzz off. Not here for you. They grab their code boy and bail, screaming threats. No doubt, Uniel sees Jinha is totally cracked. Once the coast is clear, turns to Uniel for the real talk. Points his sword. Who are you? Uniel's lost. Flashback. Teach called Uniel up to flex earlier. Uniel grabbed steel, breathed, and went to work. After slashing a bit, he stops. The ground is sliced to ribbons. Teach was shook. Uniel had that killer vibe. After the show-off, the teacher calls next. It's Sia. He stalks past Uniel, looking like straight doom. Time for Jinha to unleash the fire, rain heat. He flips the script, countering Uniel's flex with a perfect technique. Uniel took that move as a massive red flag. Standing nose to nose now, Uniel asks, yo, what's with the who are you junk? Jinha screams, convinced the guy is just trolling him. He spills the tea. He knows, not everyone's here just to snag a Demon Master title. The second those words hit you, the light bulb finally flicks on. Sure, the 10 demonic arts are epic, but this whole event felt super rushed and messy. He clocks that this setup has a double. Meaning, and one is definitely a trap to catch someone. Keeping his voice chill, Uniel asks, so, is there a mole among us? Jinha could tell by his vibe that he wasn't faking it. He sheathes his blade. Alright, you're not the guy I'm hunting? Before dipping, he warns, quit acting up, or I might just end you for annoying me. Once he's gone, Uniel realizes there's way more shady stuff happening than he originally guessed. Makes sense, he missed the drama. He's been too busy grinding He decides to shove those distracting thoughts right out of his head since he's gonna have to fight them all eventually anyway. Soon after, the teach announces that training season is officially over. He drops a quick goodbye speech that totally doubles as a hype session, wishing them luck out in the wild. Suddenly a bell clangs. While everyone's like, what the heck? The boss yells at them to book it to the central stone mountain. A few ticks later, the whole squad is huddled at the mountain, finding the head instructor waiting. Seeing the full roster, the boss grins. Time to kick off the 3rd trial. The bulk of the class looks super confused hearing him chatter about trial 3, since they were totally expecting trial 2. Only Uniel actually knows what's really going down. Jingok shouts that the dorms are getting locked up pretty soon. No, going back until the final 10 masters are picked. He tells them to grab their loot from the caves ASAP. Some kid asks how the final 10 demon masters get chosen. The instructor just sighs, super disappointed that they've been here this long and still don't get the game. So he stops beating around the bush, telling the group they gotta straight up unalive each other. Hyuk says slay until only 10 people are left standing. He says anything goes, dirty tricks, whatever. You can camp or hide, but he warns there's a nasty catch. Turns out, the safe zone is gonna shrink over time, and anyone caught outside gets wrecked by the killer demons behind him. These demons are just creepy dudes in capes, and just looking at them makes you want to wet yourself. Yunil sweating buckets, sensing the murder vibes from those demons. Right there, proof these guys are total combat beasts. Some newbie asks Hyuk if they can actually scrap with them. Hyuk bursts out laughing at that, and says he's hyped some of them actually have guts. He tells him sure, go ahead and flatline the demons if you can. He spills the tea. Recruit who drops a demon snags a top 10 master spot instantly. Game on. The second he says that they realized wrecking a demon is way harder than fighting peers. Hyuk reminds him that teaming up or sneak attacks are totally chill, since anything goes. If it helps you grab a spot as one of the 10 masters, gear grabbed, dismissed, and the chaos begins. Yunil books it, distancing himself fast, since he knows he's already a huge target from training. He figures he's gonna get mugged like those Peak 5 losers tried back in the woods. Priority 1 is safety, so he beelines for the Wandering Pavilion. Once there, he spots the ground feels weirdly different than he remembers. He kneels to check it out, then catches a vibe coming his way. Suddenly, a guy running from other students pops up, begging Yunil to save his skin from the mob. Yunil grips his blade, wary, it's a trap. Dude swears he'll pay up big time if Yunil saves him from the chasers. Yunil scans the scene, thinks he's legit cause those nasty cuts look real enough. He senses the 3 creeps chasing him and wonders if they're all squated up. Yunil hates drama, but can't risk getting caught thanks to this guy. 0 options left, so Yunil is forced to stash them both in a secret hidey hole near the pavilion. The chasers show up but find zilch, leaving him totally lost. They prowl the pavilion looking for their prey. Clueless, he's right below M. Finding nothing, the trio has to bounce and look elsewhere. Once Yunil's sure the goons are gone, he and his temp buddy crawl out of the hole. Guy's super stoked to be alive and thanks Yunil tons. While he's yapping, thanks, Yunil's busy analyzing things. Figures, Sawu must have prepped these holes just to help him hide. While hiding, he felt the beast vibes expanding, reaching way further than usual. Dude sensed everything in the dirt, like he had extra specs on. Clicked in Salisa was trying to teach him the good vibes fighting style. His temporary ride or die finally drops a name. Gimchung, blood sect rep. Gim asks for his handle, but our boy just leaves him on read. Yunil has 0 chill, skipping the break to bounce to the next spot. Gim yells wait, and begs to tag along so he doesn't get wrecked. Claims Yunil is legit trustworthy since he saved his bacon earlier. Yunil stays mute, so Gim takes that as a heck. Yep, hype overload. He trails Yunil like a lost puppy who found a new owner, officially tagging along. After hiking a few, Minasi palms the dirt to catch those earth vibes. Picks up on a brawl happening. Up ahead and votes. They dip to dodge the drama. Gim's mind is blown, begging, bro, teach me that magic trick. But our guy ghosts him and keeps trucking. Suddenly, he overhears some dudes screaming about avenging his squad. Hearing that hit, Yunil right in the Filstodo, Dazi clocks that this guy is chasing the same revenge. Hi, he is. Gim spots the vibe shift and asks, yo, what's the deal? Before he can yap, Yunil's like, change of plans, we're going in. Turns out, dodging drama is out. Crashing the party is definitely in. They roll up, and some noob is camping in a tree branch. Spots Yunil and instantly tries to jump him. Yunil parries, like it's nothing, leaving the dude shook since he thought he was slick. Dude panics, screaming, hacks, how'd you spot my stealth mode without being an assassin? Yunil skips the Q&A, and answers by slicing him into fractions. Admits that ninja move would have sucked if he hadn't learned beast mode. Since the brawl is live, he decides to save the trapped guy just to ask. So, how's that revenge taste? Right before they end him, Yunil spawns in and wrecks shop. Jump scare freezes them, giving Yunil the opening to spam his slash attacks. One sneak tries to decapitate him from behind, but Yunil dodges the clip. Suddenly it's a 1vmi, but they're too weak to handle his rage. Chops him down until only one bad guy is left. Before he can boss battle the last guy, the trapped guy thirsting for vengeance pops out to steal the kill. Wipes the mob and grins like a maniac. Revenge unlocked. Then he faceplants instantly. Before Yunil can even ask, worth it. Gim hollers from a bush, "We good?" Yunil ignores the camper to check the body. That's when Gim turns snake and tries to backstab you. But joke's on him, Yunil ain't exactly an easy. Psyche blocks the hit before it even lands. Gim shook. Totally didn't expect that block. Yunil shoves him back, salty about losing his chance to ask a big Q. Gim couldn't care less about Yunil's trivia. He's just freaking out over how Yunil sniffed out the betrayal. Yunil spills the tea. Knew it back in the shelter. Bruh, he spotted Gim stashing a whole armory under his outfit. Plus, dude walked like a rusty robot with all that metal. Admitted, he only kept Gim around for the look. Wanted to see if lying was actually a pro strat? Gim flips out, claiming his acting was Oscar-worthy, and Yunil's capping eats his gear at Yunil blocked. Gim's having a bad day. Panic mode activates. As he realizes, Yunil might be reading his moves like a book. Zoom, Yunil speed blitzes him, and slices his shoulder instantly. Yunil's like, "Cool weapons, fam. Too bad you suck at hiding them." Useless. Refusing to quit, Gim tries one last. YOLO attacked Yunil with everything he's got. Charges in, but Yunil ghosts, through him for the finish. Gim's toast. Yunil admits that was actually kinda sweaty. If he didn't know about the stash, he'd be wrecked. Checks the body. Yup, standard. I'm dead face. Boring. But that revenge guy? He looked chill-dying. Yunil wonders if he'll look that cool when he wins. Before bailing, Yunil loots the sword. Now he's Meanwhile, some Rondo in the bushes is stalking Yunil hard. Saw the fight, knows he's dangerous. Creeper thinks Yunil's got skills, but needs to get good or he won't survive this island. Next day, of thirsty trainees who want him dead ASAP. He's cut up, but sprinting. These guys have zero chill and won't quit. Trying to stay ahead. He's brainstorming a getaway plan on the fly. Meanwhile, Teach and Jingok spectate from the high ground. Teach wants stats. Jingok says 41 alive out of 80s. Teach is actually impressed. There are 41 left after 3 days. Not bad, they got skills. Decides it's time for a surprise test. Yunil ties his daggers. Just as the mob closes in, he chucks him back to smack a dude and buy some space. Realizes fighting in the open is a suicide mission. Right then, he decides to flip the script. Dragging the fight somewhere, he stands a ghost of a chance. Yunil sprints for the Fire Rain building, clueless that the boss, already tagged that spot as the next no-go zone. He slips inside, leaving a tasty red trail for the goons to track. They chase him into a squeeze, thinking they won, till he spawns behind them. He nearly gives the nearest guy a permanent haircut, but the dude blocks and screams. He's right behind us. Guy gets cocky, saying they aren't dumb enough to fall for noob traps. Things get messy fast as they throw down. But Yunil downloads his attack pattern, dodging like it's easy mode. The second the guy misses, Yunil spots his golden ticket. 2, clap back, and he doesn't hesitate. One savage swing later, and that enemy is officially game over. The squad rages and tries to Zerg rush him, but oops, they realize the hallway is way too cramped for a group hug. Yunil loves it though. He owns these tight spaces. He starts wrecking house, making the bad guys regret everything. Yunil does the math and figures he's got a solid shot, at wiping the lobby if he picks them off one by one. Panic sets in as they realize they're getting farmed. So one goon, the ETS, his whip at the wall for a sick ricochet shot. It almost tags Yunil, but he bails out of the kill zone just in time. Thinking they flushed the rat out of the tunnel. They rush the exit, only to crash into the scary boss man. And wow, does he look absolutely livid. Mainly cause his minions are retreating like cowards. They stammer some tactical repositioning excuse, but he ain't buying it. He ignores the whine and one-shots his own crew, painting the walls red. He starts trash-talking his dead team. Total baggage. With the annoying pests deleted, IT's finally, Yunil versus the big bad captain. He gives Yunil props for skill. Introducing himself as Wu, he asks for a name, but Yunil cares more about the guy's rank. Asking you the leader just makes Wu super salty. Wu decides names don't matter since he's about to end Wu lashes out, snagging Yunil's blade and snapping it like a twig. Then Wu starts, roasting him, claiming the Fire Rain sect taught him one cheap move. Yunil freezes this guy knows his entire Shining Mystique playbook, but seriously, how? That's the big mystery. Does Wu have some secret cheat sheet he doesn't know about? Wu sees Yunil spacing out and lunges for the kill. Yunil barely dodges, watching Wu smash the scenery to bits. Yunil realizes that brawling with Wu in such a cramped spot is totally dumb, so he books it to the main hall. He grabs sword number 2 to throw hands, but Wu just swats him back like a fly. Wu steps out of the shadows, yapping about how bored he is. Like, bruh, at least try to make this interesting. He cracks his whip, and before Yunil can blink, he's wrapped up like a burrito. Wu starts roasting him, saying it's basically game over. Yunil thinks, wait, I can block this junk with Shining Mystique. But oops, his power level is way too low to actually stop it. Then it hits him. He needs a totally savage move, something sharp enough to slice through steel like butter. Wu thinks he's got this in the bag when the whip tightens, but then he notices Yunil is cooking up something spicy. He ain't sweating it though, figuring it's just that weak Mystique skill. His smug grin drops real quick when Yunil busts out with a golden glow and major main character energy. Turns out, he just dropped the epic lightning and thunder combo Shan taught him. Before Wu can even process, Yunil is already in his face, moving like a human cheat code. Zip, zap, Yunil ghosts through him, landing a crit before Wu even feels the hit. Wu's system shuts down instantly, and he faceplants. Totally done. With the boss stone, Yunil feels the major recoil of that move and starts coughing up blood. Yikes. The skill is OP, but his level is too low to spam it without wrecking himself. Still, a win is a win. Even if he wasted a bunch of time dealing with this clown. He realizes the map zones are shifting, and he needs to jet fast. Suddenly, he feels super creepy vibes right behind him. Spins around and a killer demon is staring him down. Yunil is shaking in his boots, wishing he was just hallucinating. He realizes the zones shifted while he was busy pounding that other guy, but he starts wondering, can I just sneak by? I didn't run into the zone came to me. He inches his foot, testing the waters, while keeping a close eye on the monster. The demon doesn't twitch, so Yunil thinks, sweet, I'm clear. He assumes the demon is chill and tries to scoot away. He bolts past, but his beast senses scream danger, showing a vision of his head flying off. He twists midair, just in time to keep his head attached. Dude nearly wet. Himself, he didn't even see the demon move. If not for his wild beast instincts, he would have been sliced lunch meat for sure. Lesson learned. Don't trust the poker face. The second he moves, it's on. Yunil flashes back to what Sawu said about predators and prey. He learned that carnivores actually struggle quite a bit, snatching snacks that zag when they should have zigged. But the beast wins, cause the prey's moves turn. Totally basic, letting the hunter score an easy kill. Predictability is lame, so Yunil screamed like a maniac, and moved like a glitchy game character to confuse Ian. Yunil launched his wacky plan, and his first juke actually dodged the demon. Impressive. He started with a basic zigzag run. Once the demon adapted, Yunil switched to beast mode dodging. Right at the end, he realized the demon had a blade at his throat. Cold sweat dripped as he realized, game over. Too late. The shock of edema paused instead of deleting him. Yunil looked up. He'd crossed the safe zone line. He replayed the fight. Even going 100%, he hadn't landed a hit. He turned to bail, finally getting what real fighting means. Real talk. He was a total noob out of his league. No chance. One safe, Yunil paused too seriously. Rethink it. That demon's skill, on par with Gramps' killer. Yunil realized. He's got to outskill a demon to even stand a ghost of a chance. Suddenly, a voice behind him went, found ya. He spun around. Guy on a rock was yapping about his beast style. Hearing that, he knew his info had been leaked everywhere. The guy almost introduced himself, then was like, you're gonna die anyway, so names don't matter. He charged, but Yunil chill-stepped out of the way. Dude was shook that Yunil's beast senses actually worked. He admitted Yunil was grinding towards becoming a demon master, so he had to end him ASAP. As the guy switched angles, a light bulb went off for Yunil, but he cleared his head fast so he wouldn't get wrecked. He blocked, but the sword's vibe sent a weird ripple through him. A few clashes later, Yunil knew for sure. Flashback to him and Gramps checking a dead body. Gramps said the guy got smoked by the 5 tiger severing blades of the Hubei clan. Gramps knew cause the guy looked fine outside but was mush inside. Gramps explained that the 5 tiger style pumps cheat into you every time swords touch. Recalling Gramps, lesson Yunil called the dude out. He knew exactly who he was. He's busting out the HBE clan's signature 5 tiger severing blades move. Bro is shoot. He's grilling Yunil on how he knows their secret tech. Turns out, a key. Perk of his style is a key-based absorption hack. It's totally basic. Think of a vortex sucking everything into grief the enemy's gear. Once the weapon goes wanky, they go for the KO. Yunil's mind was blown when Gramps broke down the deets. He asked if HB Fang was the top-tier sect. Gramps said the move is nasty but risky since you gotta get up close and personal. Recalling that tip, Yunil decides to flip the script on him. He rushes Fun Dude, who readies the clan's signature style. Fun rants about crushing demon noobs before they level up. Right as Yunil in range, he jams his blade into the dirt. Fun thinks he's nuts until Yunil dodges and pops up beside him. Yunil plants a foot in his gut, dealing damage and knocking him back. Yunil grabs his sword, grinning. The strat is working, but he knows that hit barely scratched his HP bar. He's chill though. His foe has XP for days. Cheese strats won't one-shot him. Still, he's stoked. He figured out the counter. Flashback to the pro instructor's advice. Let the bad guy aggro first, then react instantly. Fun attacks. Instead of freaking out, Uniel rides the momentum to flip the script last second. He executes it perfectly, barely missing Fun's dome. Fun sees the light. He realizes Uniel hijacked his move. He can't believe it. That absorption skill pulls heavy boulders from way downtown. It's so OP that even pros struggle. No way a kid like Uniel cracked the code. Fun tries again, maxing out the suction power. Joke's on him, that just buffs Uniel sloshes, but Fun doges. He saw it coming. He canceled the absorption to catch Uniel off guard. He brags that he doesn't need hacks to delete a scrub like him. Fun charges and ditching the absorption. But that's exactly what Uniel is baiting. As Fun rushes in, Uniel counters with the Fire Rain Sword, remix Shining Mystique style. Just like the last scrub, Fun is totally flabbergasted by the wild move Uniel just unleashed. Turns out, Uniel flipped the script, turning a defensive skill into an attack. Super risky. The one slip in the recoil would have wrecked him. Even Fun has to admit, tweaking the mechanics like that is genius. Uniel starts walking off, leaving Fun confused about why he's still breathing. You're not on my revenge list. Fam Uniel says, wasting you serves zero purpose. So why bother? Fun exhales. Cool, let's agree to never see each other again. Uniel dips, but then a sketchy figure spawns behind Fun. Definitely a demon. You here to delete me? Fun asks the creepy newcomer. You were useful to the Orthodox crew while it lasted. The killer shrugs. Wait, you know my guild? Fun gasps. The killer scoffs. Please, you're underestimating the Demon Palace's intel. Slash. The killer raises his blade, and it's game over for Fun. Meanwhile, Jinha is struggling to solo a mob of hellish sec trainees. Mid-fight, these cheaters manage to stick him with poison. Talk about a debuffy's combat stats crash by 95%. You're a dead man, unless you get this loot, they taunt, which you won't. S.O. Jinha realizes going lone wolf was a total noob mistake against the squad. But he isn't rage quitting yet. He grips his sword with his left hand, bracing for round 2. One goon laughs. Bro, you might be cracked, but you can't just switch to lefty mode instantly. You're a righty. Just give up, they sneer, dashing in to secure the kill. Jinha tries to hold the line but catches another needle. Clock's ticking 10 minutes before he's worm food without a cure. Realizing there's no way to win, this Jinha drops his guard, waiting for the respawn screen. Thwaka bad guy drops dead before he can touch Jin. The mob freezes. Wait, is there a third party here? Before they can process, Uniel steps out, radiating major boss energy. Uniel's surprise attack wipes the floor with them. Absolute precision. In seconds, it's just Uniel standing over a pile of NPC. Jinha starts panicking. Uniel approaches. Chill, I'm friendly. Don't hurt me. Uniel completely ignores the guy and walks over to a corpse to loot the pockets. He's hunting for the antidote. Finds it? Jackpot. He needs this potion for the Hellish Blood Castle raid later. He turns to leave, but Jinha cries out, Hey, I'm poisoned here. Less than 10 minutes on the clock. Help. Uniel spins around, ice cold like, sorry bro. Gotta frag everyone, you included. Then he drops the truth bomb. He's only sparing him because he's basically a walking corpse anyway. Jin is like, fair point, knowing he's just another rival needing to be deleted. Panicking, Jinha shoots his shot. Yo, cure me, and we team up. I'm totally down to carry. Uniel raises an eyebrow. Like, why should I bother saving a noob? Jinha claps back, reminding him there's still, like, 20 tryhards left. They're squated up, dude. Even you can't solo that many mobs. He promises to leak all their glitches and weak spots if Uniel helps. Plus, he swears on his life. Save me, and I won't stab you in the back. Promise. Uniel buffers for a sec, thinking it over. He figures Jin is too much of a straight arrow to pull a fast one. Jinha keeps yapping, swearing he'll ride or die. Till the game over screen? Seriously, no trolling. Uniel sighs. Fine. And yeets the cure at him. Fix yourself. Jinha instantly dumps the powder on his wound. Just then, the restricted zone alarm blares. Ding dong. Danger time. Uniel's eyes go wide. We gotta dip. Like right now. Jin is confused. Chill. We're in the safe zone. But Uniel yells, use your brain cell. Idiot! The map's shrinking. Everywhere else is lava. If we're safe here, that means everyone else is coming here. It's gonna be a crowded party in 5 seconds. Boom! Before he finishes, the enemy squad surround them. Spoke too soon. Uniel Welp, we're too late. Scanning the mob, he spots one guy, who looks totally built different. Main character vibes. Red bandana, scary face guy. Looks like he eats nails for breakfast. Since they're all rival clans, one guy shouts, let's wreck these two losers first, then we fight. Turns out, everyone knows our boys have mad skills and wants them gone. Realizing they're totally cooked, Jinha grabs that leftover antidote bottle. Brain blast. He chucks the powder at them, screaming, "Eat super deadly poison." Purple dust explodes everywhere, like a glitter bomb. The mob freaks out, covering their mouths like, ooh, germs. While they're distracted, Yunil and Jinha eat themselves out of... Suddenly, one smart guy realizes, wait, this isn't poison. We got pranked. Jinha grins, stoked that his fake poison made a perfect smoke bomb. Clutch play. Yunil's already strategizing, realizing open fields are a death trap. We need a cave, he thinks. Close quarters, combat. And like they're sharing a brain, Jinha nods. Cave time. Yunil hits Jinha with a tell me, I know a cracked spot. Turns out, it's his old base perfect arena. Jin is shook. Bro really planned this. They bounce toward the cave. But big yike smoke bomb city ahead. It's a restricted zone. Total buzz. Demon goons block every exit. Zero, chill. Yunil clocks that the admins are watching, trolling them for the drama. Jinha starts spiraling. What's the play? Yunil says the creeps won't jump if they hold the line, it's fight night. Backs against the wall. Actually, a vibe. No exit, fine. Time to throw hands. The chase squad pulls up, looking salty that these two are being a pain. They rush in, trying to speedrun a kill. Head teachers, watching from the nosebleeds, thinking this scrap decides the top 10. Daggers fly, but Yunil swerves, easy, then rushes the dagger dude. He drops him while Jinha flexes on the rest. Then whoosh, ranged shot, pushes Jinha back. That hit was so heavy it glues them back to back. Surrounded by ops, Yunil realizes he's basically cooked. He's like, no regrets? I went all out, left it all on the server. Type B. But wait, that mindset snaps something? Dying now means failing. Grandpa can't fade. That truth, it's different. Fear deletes. Bro absolutely locks in. He flips the script. Hunters become prey. He deletes the first two so fast. He's moved on before Jinha notices. His style evolves. Shredding, guys like Tish. The noobs panic. What hacks is he using? Realizing he's the raid boss. They focus all aggro on him. But Yunil's gone full beast mode. He downloads every pro move from memory. Suddenly, he's glitching all over. Bodies fly. They can't even track him. Teachers shocked. Kids playing like a pro. Uni is throwing hands everywhere, dishing out hits until a sucker punch flies in from nowhere. And dude barely notices it in time. He blocks with his blade. But zero prep means the hit shatters his sword and launches him away. Jinha loses it, seeing where Uni crashed, screaming at him to get back up. Uni is dizzy from the hit, and by the time he shakes it off, he's lost in the fog. His jaw drops in horror. He looks up. Big mistake. A killer demon is looming, ready to slice. Then, massive plot twist. The head instructor yells an order just in the nick of time. The demon lunges, but Sawu warps behind him, blade to neck. Back off, he's safe. Uni locks eyes with his master, and that's the last scene he catches before blacking out cold. Teach is screaming his lungs out. Get the head, Doc. Do not let this kid die. Jingok tries telling the boss that pausing the game is against the rules, but Teach says, my bad, I'll take the heat. Secretly though, the instructor is hyped. He finally found the gem he was hunting for. He is totally sure this kid will go on to become one of the 10 demon masters. Later, Elder Hua asked the instructor why he messed up the plan, which was picking 10 masters and 2 geniuses to be their eyes and ears. The goal was 12 newbies, but the boss kept 14, knowing he'd get in big trouble for it. Teach tells Sua, I am ready for whatever punishment comes my way. Hua is stressing about how the envoys from the 10 demonic clans will react, but the instructor chills him out, saying the executives will see the potential in Uni too. Later, Woonie wakes up in a weird room, reeking of meds. Figures he's in the sickbay where they patched him up. Checks his body scrapes gone, inside's healed. Like magic. He is super stoked because he didn't think the demon palace docs were this legit. Once he gets his energy back, he hops on his feet and hits the hall. Some attendant says, follow me. Leads him to the main hall. Eunice's jaw hits the floor. This place is epic. He asks the guy where they are at, and the guy says, dead center of Hell Island. Uni realizes he never saw this spot because it was totally off. Once Yuna settles in, the guy asks if he wants grub. Yuna's like, 2 bowls of noodles, please. Food arrives. He ordered it because it reminds him of eating with his gramps. Just as he starts digging in, Jinha pops up, roasting him for the double order. Not trying to be buddies, Yuna asks Jinha. Jinha pauses, then drops a legit thanks for not letting me die to Uni. Dude straight up admits he'd be toast if Unil hadn't clutched it. Unil plays it cool, but Jinna's like, nah bro, only 12 of us were meant to survive. But the head teacher's random choice to save him is the only reason Jinha is still breathing air. Unil is shook, especially when he finds out he was AFK for 4 whole days. He thought it was a day nap. Jinha says, lucky the mad doc was nearby. Speaking of that crazy healer, dude is literally the goat of medicine. But after he couldn't cure his girl, he totally lost his marbles. Basically a wizard who can fix anyone who isn't fully dead yet. Yunil feels kinda special that such a legend patched him up. Jinha starts stealing Yunil's noodles mid-convo, without even asking. He spills the tea. Those demons are actually pros from the 10 sects. Looks like the big bosses are here to draft newbies. Yunil asks, why'd the teacher save me though? Jinha's like, bro, I was literally just gonna ask you that. The teacher really wants Yunil in the top 10. Jinha suspects Yunil knows the teacher from way back or has some secret connection. Yunil shuts that down. Fasty's never met the guy? Hearing the teacher got in big trouble for helping. He wonders why a total stranger would risk it all just to save him. Suddenly, a massive noise grabs everyone's attention. The big shots from the 10 demonic sects just touch down. Students bunch up, watching the scary powerful bosses walk in. No stalling. The necromancer VP, Bulsa, steps up first. He points at Yu Munho and is like, you're with the undead crew? Yong's confused, cause he's been grinding sword skills his whole life, never even touched a spear. Bulsa says, it doesn't matter. His body is built for the spooky spear. He points out Yong couldn't max out his stats with a sword, so the spear is his actual meta. Hearing that Yong ditches the doubt and follows Bull. Next up is Jock Yahan, the old VP of the Hellish Blood Castle. Shockingly, he drafts Jinha for the Hellish squad, and that totally throws the guy off. Jinha's like, me, the sword genius? He can't believe he's being scouted by a poison clan when he's a blade main. Jock explains the deadliest toxicity is actually a poisonous heart. Turns out, Jinha used some girl to wipe out the lobby earlier, and when she failed, he deleted her to keep his secrets quiet. Jinha jumps in like, whoa, she offered to do it first. But Jock tells him to chill. He isn't even mad about it, digging that Jinha is down to unalive tons of people to get what he wants. Joke tells Jinha he'll fail hard in the murmur if he keeps chasing the sword life. Joke actually convinces Jinha that he's a poison genius, not a sword master. Seeing Yunil handle a blade like a pro on day one, Jinha accepts he has zero talent. Because of that, he decides to hit the hellish castle, and Joke is stoked to take him. Suddenly, Weehukin, the Demon Pass top sword guy, steps up to pick. Wee is the MVP, mainly cause he's the strongest and reps the Fire Rain sword sect. Even Yunil feels the intense vibes, and the crowd is sweating to see the pick. Wee drops a bombshell when he calls Yunil's name, basically saying, you're coming with me. Wee says he's heard the hype about Yunil and wants to see if he's legit. Wee turns to bounce, but Yunil goes rogue and yells, nah, I'm good on the Fire Rain sect. Wee has to ask again, thinking his ears are Wee flips out. He can't believe this rookie just curved a demon master. His aura flattens Yunil, but the kid manages to wheeze. I can say no? Wee demands to know where he's headed. Not there. And Yunil's like, Wandering Beast Pavilion. Please. Now Wee is ultra triggered, because that place is trash. So he thinks Yunil is trolling his sect. Wee keeps crushing Yunil with those scary vibes. And Yunil finally gets why this dude is the sword goat. Then, out of nowhere, the pressure lifts. He looks up to see Sawu tanking Wee's insane aura for him. This makes Wee even more salty that a lowly pavilion master dares to step up. Wee cranks the power, making Sawu sweat as he reaches for his sword. The crowd starts wetting their pants seeing Sawu actually grab his hilt against the boss. Wee growls at C. Don't push your luck just cause you're tight with Jing. A vice master realizes everyone is toast if Wee loses it. He knows he's got to jump in before things go boom. Right as Wee goes to rip out his blade, the vice master slides in, blocks it, and talks real sweet. Turns out this guy is Danchin from the Wandering Beast sect. He begs Wee to chill, while the elders signal Wee to cool his jets. Wee pauses before finally shrugging it off, letting the Beast sect take Yunil. So Wu tells Yunil, let's dip before he changes his mind. Deep down, Yunil knows that power he felt. He knew Wee was seconds away from ending his life if nobody stepped in. Outside the palace, Sawu hypes up Yunil's progress, and Yunil returns the love for the teaching. A hot minute later, they hit the Wandering Beast Pavilion. It looks like a total party village. Yunil he expected gloom and doom, but everyone's radiating sunshine and good vibes. Don catches the confusion on his face. We ain't like other sects, he explains. We're all about that self-care life. Yunil realizes there are teens his age around and asks, yo, where's the squad? Don shrugs. Training's brutal. They either bailed or, well, expired. Dan scans the area and points at a crusty old shack. That's your crib. He says, if it's falling apart, and it is, go beg Wongle, the blacksmith, for a hammer and fix it yourself. Room assignment done. Dan tells Sawu, it's time to bounce. Yunil's bummed. Wait, You're not crashing here too? Dan spills the tea. Sawu is just a secret pavilion boss with zero clout to fight the sword demon. Since he saved Yunio's, but he's gotta go face the music now. Yunio panics, but Sav's chill. Relax. Kid, it's just a slap on the wrist. Sawu lightens the mood by whacking Yunio's back. Don't slack off while I'm gone, okay? Sawa dips. Don turns cold. You ain't a real disciple yet? Rookie. He admits Yunio might be one of the 10 demon masters. But here, that title means squat. Why? Because the Beast Pavilion has a strict no scrubs policy. Yunil asks how to get buff. Dan basically says, just do it. He explains this place, skips the boring rituals other sects love, no force vibes, no pinky swears. Just learn to fight and get that's it. Get strong, and boom, you're officially part of the crew. Dan adds, FYI, literally everyone here is your teacher. But only if they feel like sharing their secrets. Next morning, Yunil tackles this insane rock called Iron Peak. Dan said to climb it to meet a guru with the ultimate energy hacks. After nearly dying and sweating buckets, Yunil flops onto the summit. He's stunned to find a dude looking like a monk chilling there. The bald guy's aura nearly knocks him off, but Yunil holds his ground. He says, hi, and explains why he's there. The monk asks, current skills, not good enough for yet. Yunil's totally lost. At that comment, the guy says, bro, you're leaking true key. He claims Yunil's got so much juice, he must have been hoarding it since birth. Yunil denies it fast. Nah, I just bury dead people, never trained a day. Right when the Baldy hears this and holds up 2 fingers. Bro, only 2 options here. Either you're capping hard, or you learn this in Dreamland. Desperate to beat the fraud allegations, Yunil claps back. No cap. Check my stats yourself. If you don't believe me, curious. The guy asks if he can nuke Yunil's energy. Yunil's like, bet. Baldy scans Yunil's build and his jaw basically hits the floor. Realizing the kid is absolutely stacked with ki, but it's totally frozen, meaning he hoarded energy in his gut without even trying. Literal glitch. Baldy can't believe this hack is real. He grabs Yunil close. Who taught you this cheat code? Yunil is totally confused by the aggression. What do you mean, my guy? Did anyone teach you breathing hacks or mind chill? Yunil's like, oh yeah, Grandpa taught me something. A breathing trick. Baldy says, show me. Yunil starts the breathing tech, and Baldy loses his mind. Why? Because the kid is doing it, standing up. Absolute Seen enough? He stops him. Was it really Gramps who taught you? Yunil nods. Yeah, 100%. Taught me while we played possum. Said it helps breathe in a coffin. Baldy explains, that ain't just for air. Kid, that's hider farming for your energy core. It's a circulation hack. Totally different from the combat skills you need to actually use the juice. Baldy drops a bomb. You got 10 years of power stored up inside. Then he asks, what was your grandpa's name? Yunil reveals, Buji. Baldy freezes. There's only one legend in the Muram with that tag. The strongest sword on the dark side. Former VP of the Demon Palace. Yunil denies it. No shot. He was just an undertaker. But Baldy spots another weird detail. That breathing style? It's straight from the Shaolin monks. Yunil is shook. That means the skill is from the good guys. Was his dad secretly an Orthodox hero or something? Pure fear starts creeping in. If this info leaks, his Demon Master rep is toast. Best case, fired. Worst case, game over, literally. Baldy tells him to chill out. I don't doubt you. The palace ran a background check on you. They found nothing, so you're clear. Baldy decides to teach him properly, honoring an old promise. He tells Yunil straight up, I don't care if your skills are holy or cursed, but if you ever teach this to some other noob, mess this up, he's toast. His whole squad, delete, zero fear. Yunil tells Chromedome, he's totally down. Seeing the kid's hype, Baldy drops his name. Yahello asks if he gets the diff between the 2 styles. Orthodox versus demonic mana stuff. Yunil's like, nope. He spills the tea. Orthodox style is all natural vibes, like clean eating for power. Slow, but steady wins. But demonic path, they'll do anything for quick gains. That's why they start off with insane energy levels. But it's super toxic and wrecks your body's nature. But later, Orthodox pros win, cause their energy is pure. Then Yahello drops a major secret on the kid. His secret move isn't even normal demonic stuff. He claims it's the GOAT. The ultimate cheat code. But grabbing that kind of power? Costs big time. The training is straight torture. Said he chewed his own fingers off learning it. Yikes. Survive that? You get a body perfectly synced with mana. Then he gets real and spills his backstory. He used to be a top boss at the Azure Dragon Temple, but got framed, booted, and had his powers locked. Trying to fix his mojo, the Beast Pavilion helped out, so he promised to teach them his secret stuff. His Epan mana style to pay off the debt. Failing to teach Uniel means breaking that vow. So Hyle's gotta vibe check him first. He'll zap all 365 points at once. Gotta deep clean the pipes for the new power. Says it'll hurt bad. Bail now. If you're soft, Uniel stubborn as ever, tells bring it. I can handle anything you got. Hyle blasts energy into Uniel to scrub him clean. But Hyle freezes. He's never seen this before. He expected screaming, crying, the whole drama. But totally chill. Silent. No nasty smell. Uniel is 100% toxic. Hyle is so ... shook. Screams. I'm teaching you everything. 6 months later, Uniel ... glowed up hard. Totally new dude. Got no longer that skinny twig. Hyle chucks a huge rock at him. Think fast. Uniel stands still. His aura shreds the rock. Boom. Hyle nods. Yup, you totally mastered it. Hyle is mind blown. Uniel crushed the technique in just 6 months. He finally vented the truchi he'd been bottling up inside. Hyle was like, alright, next challenge. Let's go. Uniel struck a pose to cycle his energy, feeling super blessed. That teach helped him speedrun to level 1. But honestly, he still felt like a total slowpoke since the technique had 8 tiers, and he wanted tier 2 before bailing. Fueled by pure grit, our boy smashed through the limit. Hyle was shook. Can't believe he hit stage 2. The muscle bone zone. Basically, the level 4, getting totally shredded and but that instant glow up hurt like crazy. Blood started dripping from his lip. As he clenched his jaw, refusing to tap out, Hyle jumped in, yelling, empty your head, focus. He saw the kid's body, couldn't handle the juice, and at this rate, he was gonna wreck his insides for good. No choice, Hyle decided to burn his own life force, slapped his back and blasted his own essence into him. When it ended, Uniel felt like a human furnace. He spun around and saw Hyle looking totally wrecked. Rushed over, asking, yo, did you give me your energy? Hyle saw the panic and said, chill. I'm stuck here till you learn anyway. Uniel was stunned. The tough guy act was fake. He was a softie. Uniel was super grateful for the save, swearing he'd never forget the solid. But Hyle goes, nah, forget I exist. Whoa. That's exactly what Sawu said at the match. Hyle said the only payback he wanted was if he aced a breathing and hit level 8. Great origin. Deep breath. He promised, he'd beat the stage. The old man failed at level 5. Since he hit stage 2, class was officially dismissed. Said next up was martial arts 1. Told him to go scale the cliff on the west side. That was his new Uniel bowed low. Thanks for everything. 3 months later, Wind Cloud Squad rolled back in. They came swooping in, hopping rooftops just to flex that they were at the top unit. Captain Beck just stood posing until Dan greeted him. Baekhyun pulled his mask off, talking all fancy. Don was like, bro, I already told you to drop the dot. Beck's lie nah, claiming the rulebook's already shredded enough. Beck's actually hyped Don appeared since he was looking for him. Beck grills him on why he dragged in a demon master, despite hating the idea. Don just spills that Uniel picked them after ghosting the Fire Rain squad. Beck shook that a rookie actually swiped right on their Dan nods, adding that the choice almost sparked a brawl with Wei. He teases Beck to be proud that the kid actually vibes with them. Beck's salty, claiming that's why Fire Rain snubbed the 10 masters. Beck yells at Don, noting, they're already in hot water, and adopting Uniel is just adding gasoline. Don grins when he hears that, reminding Beck, their Beast Pavilion never cared about Miram drama since they're only here to level up their skills. Beck sighs, but demands to see Uniel, whose rep is on the line now. Meanwhile, Uniel had hit up Gawal, the ex-Grand Thief, famous for his swift phantom moves. Gawal flexes his skills, claiming newbies get wrecked, trying to keep up with the speed. Gawal bets Uniel's gonna end up on the fail compilation list. A surprise, Uniel aces the whole thing in just 1 month. Stunned but stoked, Gawal's glad he finally found a successor, so he decides to just shut down the whole He tells Uniel to grind the rest solo, so it works in real fights. Later, Beck and Dan spy on Uniel. They chill on a cliff watching his phantom moves. Beck bets Uniel has 0 chance, since that skill is insanely hard to learn. Beck's jaw drops at Uniel's speed, asking if he's prepped for ages. Dan corrects him, saying, Uniel actually learned a totally different skill first. Beck realizes the 2-week beast mastery rumor is legit, and Don nods. Dan mentions Sawu gave Uniel his spirit water, which likely unlocked his crazy potential early. Beck argues that the magic water isn't enough to carry him through that intense training. Dan notes he's the boss right now, since the master is a. Beck adds that the 10 demonic sects hate how this drama played out. Turns out, the master's program was just to build prodigies who can wreck orthodox pros. Beck agrees, but notes, some sects were clueless, sending their heirs into the mess blindly. Dan thinks it's chill, but Beck warns him a huge glitch just popped up. Basically, it seems that Miriam kicked the bucket. Totally Yunil's fault. Don isn't crying about it though. He figures, classic skill issue. They knew the risks. Bro. Beck adds, FYI, Fire Rain Sect is salty too. Turns out, they hate that Yunil spammed their elite lightning moves. Rude. So they've been demanding major payback. Xian even got fired over it. Dan's shook. They seriously want to punish Yunil after they already sacked his teacher. Beck spills tea. It's actually a qualification test. Flunk it, and he's permabanned from sword fighting. They're still yapping in the middle of this drama when Yunil parkours in to join them. Dan gives props for the grind, then intros Beck. Yunil bows like a good boy. Beck instantly talks shop. Dan quickly cuts him off. Zip it. Kid doesn't need the stress. But Yunil interrupts. Chill, I'll take the heat. Oops. He definitely heard their gossip session. Sorry for lurkin'. Yunil shrugs. Admitting he used his mind's eye cheat code, Beck's floored. You did that mid. Yunil nods. Yeah, just rode the water vibes, you know? Beck's brain melts. Dan's just like, standard. Beck's hyped. He's a prodigy. Let's bet on him. Dan is horrified that Beck is sending the kids straight into the enemy's trap. Beck argues, it's just PR to calm the leader down. That's why, it's at the palace, not the haters' home turf. Reject it, and we're toast. Beck warns. While they keep bickering, Yunil steps up. Let's roll. If they want good PR, killing me is dumb. Plus, I don't run from fights. I got rep to protect it. Beck vibes with that. See? Squashing the beef is the only way. Don sighs. Fine, whatever. But if you win, Dan points a finger. Make those losers promise to drop the grudge. Deal. Sealed. Yunil heads to the palace. At the gate, the vibe feels way different now. An Esser guided him, led him to the Demon Palace's main hall, saying someone else would handle him once he stepped inside. Talk about being passed around? Yunil peeks into the HQ, the brain center running the whole show. Think of it like the Alliance's strategy hub. This is where he proves he's not a total scrub. Yunil struts into the hall and meets the big boss, Hallmaster John. John spots him and immediately hypes up his energy. Having heard the rumors, he asks if Yunil knows why he's here and about the drama with the 10 sects. Yunil's confused, asking, wait, aren't the palace and the 10 sects the same crew? Hearing that, John realizes his guides totally failed to brief him on the lore. So John breaks it down. The palace is like a union holding the 10 sects together. They're linked, sure, but definitely not the same thing. It's complicated. Usually, a sect member leads the palace. But the last boss was an outsider. He adds that not everyone in the dark side plays nice with the palace. There's beef. Yunil gets it now there. Basically just frenemies working together. But plenty of those clans absolutely loathe the palace. John spills the tea. The 10 Masters' plan wasn't about picking heirs for the sects, but raising killers to wipe out the orthodox pros. Simply put, that whole contest was a palace scheme to delete the Alliance's top dogs. The sects actually said, no way at first. But the palace bullied them until they caved and sent their students. But, since some kids died during the games thanks to Yunil, the palace is in a super sticky spot now. John reveals this exam is actually a trap to punish him. He asks if Yunil knew, and our boy's like, yeah. John loves that confidence. He's glad Yunil came ready to rumble. Enough yet? John suggests they cut to the chase. He mentions the White Demon and Fire Rain clans did Yunil a solid, letting him into the 10,000 Truths library. It's packed with secret scrolls. He can browse. John tosses him a gold pass to get in. The place has 3 floors, and this ticket only gets him into the basement level. Classic. Still, with 25,000 kung fu books, John thinks it'll help. Basically, they're throwing him a bone, because his odds of passing are basically 0. Just covering their bases so nobody talks smack about them later. Finally, John drops the bomb. The test is, to survive 5 hits from a pro fighter picked by the White Demon crew. Turns out, the head teacher quit, just to make sure Yunil advanced. Wild. When our guy asked why though, the dude just smirked, saying he'd find out ASAP. With finals looming, he's dying to know what Tish meant by that flex. Badge in hand, Yunil slides into the lobby and boom bumps right into G. Shocked to see him, DJing brags. He's got mad connects inside the hall. Turns out, he was the TA back on Hell Island, subbing for the big boss who ghosted the tournament. Jigging peeps, the badge in his grip, asking if he's hitting the Truth Pavilion for the big test. Yup, since they go way back. Jing decides to drop some free wisdom. He warns that the Jianghu is totally sus. And nobody does favors for free. Big red flag alert. Basically, there's always some shady drama or plot brewing. Then he tells Yunil to stay sharp and spot the lucky break in the mess. Plus, he drops a riddle. Trees grow from roots. Super cryptic, right? Yunil says thanks. And Jing's like, I got good luck. Soon, he hits the massive 10,000 demonic Truth Pavilion. Inside, he realizes this library isn't your average book nook. Every single scroll is a secret fight move. Mind blown. A quick vibe check, and he knows it's a trap. The place is stacked with epic skills, but cramming them in one day, impossible. Trying would just waste time, which is exactly what his haters want. Knowing the Fire, Rain Crew and White Demon Gang are trolling him, Yunil knows he gotta lock in. Suddenly, Jing's roots riddle clicks in his brain. He knows the play. He starts dashing around until he snags the Wandering Beast reversal manual. Jackpot. He cracks it open, hype but gasp is shook by what's inside. Prep time's over. Exam day is finally here. He hits the arena where Elder Go, the proctor, is waiting. Yayong from the Fire Rain Squad is lurking there too. Plus, a rep from Wandering Beast, Noon Gak, and Gown from the White Demon Crew. Gasessa Temple wants to see if he's top 10 material. Go turns to the reps from the rival gangs to ask if they'll squash the beef if Yunil both swear they'll drop the drama forever. If he survives this, Deal Set Go kicks off the exam. Gown enters the ring. Block 5 hits or you're toast. Kid, Go showed up to the exam with one mission. Unalive, Yunil, ASAP. But Go cares about the Beast Pavilion's rep, so he plans to slice off Yunil's arms on the 5th move. You know, for show. Go attacks, leaving Yunil totally shook. Cause Go attack with 0 lag, no charge up time. That's some hacker skill. The hit aims for the neck, but our boy yeets himself back, dodging the opener. Close 1. Nobafringo spams the next move. Suddenly, Yunil's facing a spam of branched attacks. He runs laps just to survive the hit. Go's impressed Yunil read that. Guess those wild beast vibes are legit. But Gu warns him, not safe yet. Move 3 drops instantly, raining down like a bad storm. The arena is blanketed in strikes meant to drop him. Yunil's confused on what's real, so he figures, just dodge everything to be safe. 0 hesitation, he goes tryhard mode to evade the barrage. The hit lands with a massive boom. Dust clears Yunil's, standing with just a scratch. Go is stunned. Yunil spammed the swift phantom tech to cheese the damage. Yunil knows he'd be toast if Go had really wanted to kill him there. Go is super salty that he couldn't land a critical hit on the kid. At this rate, chopping off arms is looking like a pipe dream. Time to sweat. Go preps, move 4. White Demon Heart Strike. It's a Yunil's isolated and terrified. He can't dodge this one. No cap, Yunil is pretty sure he's gonna get deleted if he fails here. Then, Brain Blast. He remembers that martial arts book. He was shook when the first few pages were just roasting the Beast Pavilion. But the later parts? They leaked all the Beast Path's weaknesses. The roasting was bait. Only true disciples would keep reading past page 1. The book said, as a martial artist, you gotta use your brain, groundbreaking stuff, and crank up those senses when things get hairy. Since he's about to die, Yunil boosts his senses right at the buzzer. Clutch move. He dodges the White Demon Heart Strike, leaving the crowd's jaws on the floor. Go is even Temple Masters struggled to dodge that. Go finally gets why. The big sex put a bounty on this kid. Yunil isn't just a pest. He's a future raid boss. So, Go decides. Playtime's over. He needs to go. Go unleashes the White Demon Divine Serpent. Move 5 is a straight kill shot. Yunil sidesteps the bite, but he spots the weapon locking on, dead set on sending him to the Shadow Realm. It seems the White Demon's Divine Serpent is nasty stuff. It literally won't chill until it tastes blood. Go figures Yunil is about to get a serious neck-level haircut. Stuck Yunil busts out the OP Lightning and Thunder cheat code. Yunil throws a hand up as the hit connects, triggering a massive golden flash. Not enough. The snake breaks his guard and pierces his shoulder. Ouch. The sheer impact of this yeets Yunil way back, but the guy refuses to flop on the ground. He hits his knees. Right arm's bricked, so he left hands the sword. Yunil looks up, giving off major Boas energy, showing he's still game to throw hands. Goes impressed but stressed that Yunil's gonna be a future headache. So, he decides it's in their best interest to permaban Yunil right now. Before he can spam another move, the ref grabs him. Yo, you used your 5 turns. Go. Rips his arm away from Gak, acting super salty about the contact. Gak glares back, reminding Go that he has 0 reason to keep the deal if Go starts playing dirty. Right then, the Fire Rain interrupts, whining at Yunil, copyrighted their sex move. He wants the test voided since that was their whole beef anyway. Gak instantly claps back, telling him he's pushing it. Rules never banned the Lightning Thunder combo. Bro, Gakri adds that Shen would actually be hyped. Yunil used it. The guy gets triggered, thinking Gak is trolling his sect. Gak explains, Go just unleashed a White Demon ult, but Yunil tanked it with the Thunder skill. Gak says the only logic is that Fire Rain style is superior to White Demon style. Dropping that truth bomb, Gak starts drama between the sects, cause Fire, Rain, Can't pass up a chance to be crowned the goats. Checkmate. Fire Rain has to zip it and back off. Gok tells the squad the deal stands. He says Unil keeps his title and gets sword privileges back. Announcement done. Gak turns to Unil. Side to give props, then he catches Unil's weird stare. Gak checks him and realizes the dude passed out standing up. Later on, Unil spawns in a weird room. He's shook why always the VIP suites. Then he recalls the test and panics that he might have flopped. He's stressing out what if he totally bombs the test. Since it's out of his hands, he flops down to cycle some chi while he waits. Suddenly, it hits him he's packing a massive load of true chi inside. Then Heist's voice pops into his head, reminding him that he's got 10 years worth of true ki in his system. Guess that juice flows way better once his acupoint gets unlocked. And judging by the buzz inside, the test definitely flipped that switch. Before he knows it, Unil hits level 3 of the reverse polarity. Technique the sweet spot where fire and water can't touch him. He's in the zone when a staffer walks into the room and drops the bomb that he's currently at the Demon Gathering Pavilion. Basically, the Elder Master's crib. Unil freaks out. He expected to wake up in the sickbay, not the boss's house. The guy starts shaking like a leaf because he knows just how insane and high-tier the Elder Pavilion is. The Blood Demon runs at one of the top 3 scary dudes ruling the martial world. The girl introduces herself as Jin and says the Elder wants him in the inner hall ASAP. Unil's sweating bullets now, especially when Shil reminds him the old man is waiting. Walking over, the garden is so lit, it leaves him totally Finally, he steps into the inner hall where the Elder is chilling. Gramps pours tea and gives props for passing those crazy sec tests. Unil thanks the old guy for the hospitality, and after sipping, the Elder asks how the brew tastes. He keeps it real. I don't know jack about tea, so I can't judge. The boss gets curious, but first introduces himself as Jack. Our boy is totally floored, because he can't believe he's facing the monster who wiped out tons of masters back in the day. He realizes he wouldn't have clocked the old man if he hadn't heard the stories. After he bows, the old guy says, "You're not what I expected." Even though he started late, his muscles are actually super bendy. Plus, his inner energy is on point. And Unil explains his grandpa taught him proper breathing. As a kid, Bung says he dragged him here instead of the sick ward for a private chat. Bung then drops a heavy offer. Come join the Demon Palace after you finish training. Bung adds that while the Beast Pavilion is technically demonic, they roll differently. Bung tips him off that after 3 years there, he'll meet with the Palace Master to get Unil into the Dark Heaven squad. Huge deal, since Dark Heaven is the top-tier crew. The Palace, right up there with the Slaying and Annihilation squads. Bung claims joining the Dark Heaven squad is a VIP pass to the Demon Palace's elite. Then he hits Unil with the big question. Unil passes instantly, shocking Bung into asking why. Unil keeps his cool and drops the truth bomb. That mastering the Wandering Beast style means risking it all. Hand him a win now, and he'll just get lazy. Bung loses it, cracking up. He's hollering, saying he absolutely loves that answer. Says Unil's got that true warrior mindset locked down. But his laugh puts out so much pressure, it twists Unil's insides. Bung wipes a tear, saying he'll keep tabs on him, because he wants to see his glow up in 3 years. Bung says, "See ya, in 3 years," which Unil reads as "get out." Unil says thanks for the chat and makes a quick exit. Once gone, a hidden master pops up. Shocked, someone said no. Bung grins. Watch him. Let's see whose team he picks later. Finally, safe, exhales, realizing that pressure nearly flatlined him. One slip-up back there and he would have been total toast. He's still shaking off the bad vibes. When Aranda taps his shoulder, asking if he's good, snap back to reality. He made it to town. He scans the area, soaking in the chill. Energy he hasn't felt in ages. Crazy how wild his life has gotten lately. But wait, Spidey's senses tingling. He's being tailed. Needs a sword? Stat. Hits a shop, asking for a cheap practice beater. The clerk points you to a dust pile in the corner. Take your pick. He grabs a stick and heads for the boonies. Finds a quiet spot and yells, "Come out and play." Right on cue, a squad of ninja wannabes jump out, clapping for his sharp ears. Unil's surrounded. The boss man steps up, saying they're canceling his subscription to Life right now. Unfazed, Unil yawns. "Don't know you, don't care. Just go home, guys." They laugh. "Buddy, you're the one checking out." Since they won't scram, Unil decides to speak their language, which is, violence. Draws his blade. They still think he's a joke. They sync up, ready to mob him all at once. Unil plays it cool, and boom, they rush him, trying to take his head off. Unil blocks the opening barrage and instantly clocks that the goons are spamming combos with literally zero. It is obvi, these dudes are a permadeath squad. Total sync. But even with their OP teamwork, Unil's beast mode hacks spot a glitch. He notices their skill levels aren't balanced. Major lag. He knows he can exploit this bug against them, so he goes full aggro immediately. Boom. One dropped. The squad is Shuki red there, meta. Seems they are one dong fan. Who thought their strats were to pro for you? They wonder if the demon boss leaked the walkthrough to him. Not rage quitting yet. The leader screams for formation 3 to reset the match. Joke's on them. Unil is tracking skill gaps, not plays. They rush B, but just like before, Unil deletes 2 more new. Now they are panicking, cause his moveset is cracked. Unil clarifies. He is not even using special arts. He is just playing purely for survival mode right now. He says they are throwing because they were too cocky, while he is actually grinding for his life. The team captain starts twitching. He thought they were the top predators. But Unil flipped the script. They are the loot. Now, realizing Unil is basically the final raid boss, one minion suggests they bail to heal up and buff. His ally team kills him instantly for being a coward. Unil asks the captain. Honor stats matter more than his actual HP bar. He claims they do not farm XP for glory like demons. He insists it is for honor, making Unil super salty. Remembering his dad, he goes absolute try-hard mode. Unil moves so fast he basically lag-switched the whole team. The captain crashes to the floor, ranting that Unil turned into a monster. He spams toxic chat, but Unil ignores the loser. Unil is bummed that he still has to PK people after leaving Hell Island. It is like he is soft-locked in a violent server. But whatevs, he figures it is the subscription fee for walking this gnarly path of pure vengeance. Suddenly, a ride pulls up and Beck hops out, grinning at the carnage he is viewing.